It is another exciting episode of the Funhouse Podcast. It is the only podcast that I know of that is unedited. So what you see, what you hear is what you get. It's plain and simple. In this episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct, which released as of this video, June 21st, 2023. Some of the fun things that are being released, coming soon, coming out immediately, or that are already out. Also, the Goonies 2. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Let's get into it. Thanks for listening. Funhouse Podcast. Again, thanks for listening or watching, whichever way you're doing it. It's okay. I just want to say thanks for watching and taking the time to listen or watch, whatever. Anyways, I want to open up the show with some Goonies news. That's right. It's not a whole lot of news coming out of the Goonies, unfortunately. But one of the more recent articles I've been finding about the Goonies 2, possible or not possible, not looking very good for a Goonies 2 movie, which you could easily do a sequel. I don't see why they haven't done one, but the Goonies 2 may never happen despite many scripts explained by stars. Many of the beloved stars of the show or the movie have stated they would love to be able to come back and relive and replay those beloved characters from the 1985 Goonies. Excuse me, I'm tongue-tied today for some reason. But as a fan of the Goonies, I would love to see a sequel. I mean, easily you could write some script around where the original Goonies come back, maybe go on an adventure with their kids, or maybe just go on an adventure with, together again. I know the original actor that played Chuck, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head for some reason, but he did state, because I believe he's an entertainment lawyer or something like that, even if they were to do a sequel, he's pretty comfortable doing with what he's doing now. But man, you would just hope if some way Goonies 2 was to come out, but I mean, you'd have to have Chuck, you'd have to have Mouth, you'd have to have Data, you'd have to have Bran, Mikey, I mean, all the great characters that came out of that show, Andy and everybody. It's unfortunate that it looks like it might not be made, even though there's been a dozen, if not more, scripts that have been written, but have all just been kind of tossed to the side. I really don't know what the problem is or what the deal is. I mean, this movie could easily bring out the kids like myself who grew up watching the original Goonies movie, and be able to take your kids. I'd take my kids to go opening night to a Goonies 2, just to relive that. Well, one of my kids really enjoys the Goonies. I remember showing both my older kids the Goonies original movie, and I know my 15-year-old son, he really enjoys it, and it's a great movie. I've seen it a dozen times, if not more than a dozen times. Growing up to now, my younger kids haven't watched it yet, but eventually I would have them watch it. But man, I would just love to see a Goonies 2. But as of right now, I wouldn't say it's dead, but it's not possibly being made. But you never know. We can always hope. We can always continue to do podcast videos on hopefully a Goonies movie coming, which is like you're hearing here in this one. And of course, Richard Donner, who was the original director for the Goonies, had passed away a few years back. Steven Spielberg, I believe, was the screenwriter for it. If a Goonies 2 was to be made, you got to get Spielberg in it. And you'd have to bring in some, just screenwriters, directors, what have you, that are still around. You'd want them to be a part of this, because in the 80s, movies were great in the 80s. You're seeing so many remakes and sequels being made, and you got to make them right, because kids like myself who grew up watching the originals, and even people that weren't kids of the 80s that got to experience these movies, that have watched them for the first time maybe in the 90s or in the 2000s or with their parents or what have you, they're great movies. And the 80s was a decade of great movies, fun movies, enjoyable movies. And if you're going to do sequels, remakes, you got to do them right, because you just do. I mean, that's plain and simple. But as of now, no Goonies 2 script has been out there, really, that's been accepted. And that's unfortunate, but keep our fingers crossed that a Goonies 2 movie will eventually be made, while the actors of the original movie are still around and doing good. I mean, they're my age, or in their 40s, what have you, early 50s, whatever. And I'm just hoping to see a Goonies 2. So, anyways, moving on, guys. The Nintendo Direct dropped today, as of this video, the 21st of June. If you're watching this, it's probably come out a few days after, but it's okay. If you probably watched it live, I watched it live on YouTube, and there's a lot of fun games coming out. There's some that are like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Some of the games that they mentioned in the 40-minute show, Pokemon Violet and Scarlet are getting some DLCs, which is the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, which from what I understand are available now. And the first part of the live video they did looks like it was a festival in the countryside from what they had said too, and the second part looks like it was a futuristic academy near the ocean. So if you play those games, or if you have those games and you got the DLC, let me know in the comments what you think of those DLCs for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm interested in knowing that. I'm also Sonic, a 2D side-scroller, Sonic Superstars, with clones and hidden secrets. It's going to have local co-op up to 4 players, and it's going to release in fall 2023. And if you didn't see the clips of that, anything, it looks fun. It looks like a true Sonic game. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I always like to do co-op games. I think a co-op game is great, so that'll be fun to see. Might be one that I might go look to get. Another one called Pala, I think it was called Pala. I didn't get a lot out of it. Wasn't something I was 100% into, but it's expected to release in the holiday of 2023 of this year, of course. Apparently, you can build houses, grow crops, play online with others, or alone. You can leave the village and you can explore, or you can stay in the village. So it's kind of almost like an open world type scenario, which is pretty cool. That might be one I might consider trying. Persona 5 has got a new game coming out. If you're a Persona 5 fan, I didn't catch the release date, but I'm pretty sure it's sometime later this year. Myth Force is coming out later this year as well, and this was really interesting when they were talking about this game. It's inspired by Saturday morning cartoons, and you have medieval weapons, magic, what have you. It's a 4-player online co-op anytime. You can come in and out of the game, which is really cool. You can just kind of randomly log back in and get back on that. It looked, when it was saying Saturday morning cartoon inspired, I was kind of trying to put pieces together what type of Saturday morning cartoons it could have been. It looks like an interesting game. I might possibly look into that too. Splatoon's got another game called Splatfest, I believe, that's coming out later this year, I think they said. One that looked really interesting. Now, I'm not a huge Pokemon game player. I have played them, and I've played them a few times and this and that, but I'm not a die-hard Pokemon player. If you are, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I am interested in the Pokemon Detective Pikachu Returns. In the clip they showed for the trailer for it, it was a very talkative Pikachu, almost like that movie that they did. And you're basically solving crimes with the human companion of yours. That looks like a really fun game. I might pick that one up. I do have a Pokemon game or two. I have one for the Nintendo DS. I have one for the Nintendo Switch that I had picked up at a really great price. I haven't had a chance to really play it, but I think this Detective Pikachu is looks like a lot of fun. Definitely a game I think I'm going to try as well. And Super Mario RPG. If you remember this, it originally released on the Super NES, and it's returning with new graphics. It looked really good, looks really great, and it's cool to see that there are games from the NES or Super NES that were really popular, and it's an RPG Mario game, that this is going to be re-released onto the Switch. So if you never played the Super Nintendo version, you'll get it with new graphics that'll look a lot cleaner than the Super Nintendo version, and I think that would be a lot of fun. Anything Mario to me is a lot of fun. Also, Princess Peach is getting her own game sometime early next year, apparently, and I thought that's pretty intriguing. I think a lot of girls that will appreciate that. I think that'd be a lot of fun, and if you're a Princess Peach fan as well, I think that could be fun. I mean, especially if they keep it Mario type themed in a way, the way Mario games are. But you never know, they might create a whole new game, of course, for Princess Peach to really make it fun, and I'm all for it. It looked like it could, from the small clip they showed, looks like it could be a good one. Luigi's Mansion: The Dark Moon, which is in development now. This game originally, of course, came out for the 3DS for the Nintendo 3DS. So this looks like it's going to be redeveloped, probably re-imaged, stuff like that, to make it look really, maybe I guess a little sharper than what the 3DS version was. But the 3DS one was a really great game. really fun game. Luigi's Mansion to me is a lot of fun. It's an enjoyable game. So it'd be fun to see this come out for the Switch as well. And that is slated as well to come out later in 2024 or early 2024. So be on the lookout for that. Maybe they'll add more levels or something. I'm pretty sure they got to do something a little different with it. One that I was really looking forward to that you haven't seen this game come out since I think the Wii U, and that's the Batman, anything Batman for Nintendo. I think the last one that came out was Batman for, I think it was Arkham Asylum or one of those. They came out for the Wii U, and this one is the Batman. This is 3 games in one, a trilogy, and it's a DLC apparently. So I wish they would do a physical copy for that. That'd be great to get. That's coming out fall this year, so be looking out for that Batman Arkham or Batman trilogy, 3 games in one. I think it's gonna have Arkham Asylum. I can't remember the other 2 it said, but it's Batman. I mean, Batman games are really great. I like how they do them. They're really dark, but they are fun. I like the action sequences in them. So that's definitely one to be looking for if you are a Batman fan. I'm Batman. Another interesting one, Gloomhaven. I've never heard of this game, but apparently it's based off a hit board game or a card game, or I think the game is based around a card game, but I think Gloomhaven is actually a board game. I could be wrong. 100% when I was listening to this, I think that's how I heard it. Maybe I heard it wrong. I don't know much about that. It looked okay. It's probably not a game I'm gonna go after or want to play, but if you played this game that's being developed into a Switch game, hey, let me know what you think. It's slated to come out September 18th of this year, so that's coming pretty soon. Just Dance 2024 is coming out later this year as well. I'd probably think more than Christmas time. Silent Hope, an RPG game, is slated to come out in October. Don't know much about that game either. It is an RPG game. Fae Farm is coming out. I didn't catch when that's going to drop as well. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 will come out in October. If you played Hot Wheels Unleashed, I think I have that one as well. But it seems like, from what it looked like, it's a typical racing game type. But it's Hot Wheels. Hey, so you can't go wrong with that. Maniac Mechanics. This is one that was pretty intriguing to me. I thought this would be. It looks like it's pretty good. You can play co-op mode. You can play by yourself. I always like co-op mode games. I like playing with other people, working together. It seems to me, when you're playing with other people in a game together, to me it's just more fun because you're teaming together with others. You're having fun. You have to learn to work together, figure out plans together, and how to complete the mission. So I think that might be one that could be fun. It looks to me like it could be a fun game. A Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Now the game's already out, of course, but this is a DLC called Last Spark Hunter, and I enjoyed the Mario Rabbids. I think it was the Battle Kingdom. It was the first one that came out, and it's on the Switch, of course. I still haven't played Sparks of Hope. Of course, it didn't get great reviews, but I enjoyed the Mario Rabbids games. I thought they were fun. I really enjoyed that. So this is a DLC one, of course, and but I am going to be looking to get that Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope eventually. It is on my hit list of games to get for the Switch. Dragon Monsters Dark Prince is coming out in December 1st of this year. Pikmin 4 comes out September 21st of this year. And what's funny about this game is, in this game, you can now go out at night. In the previous games, it was always a daytime thing. This one, you go out at night. There's a little bit more that goes on, especially with the creatures that are out and about. If you've seen the trailer for it while they were doing the Nintendo Direct, you see what I was talking about. But that's an interesting little spin they're going to put on it for that as well. And another one that's coming out that I'm also excited for, it's another Masters Collection is what they're calling this one, is the Metal Gear Solid. This is going to have Sons of Liberty 2. It's going to have Snake Eater. It's going to have the NES versions for Metal Gear that came out in the original NES, and I played the original Metal Gear on the NES when it originally came out. And the graphic, it's going to even have on there where you can see a graphic novel of the Metal Gear. You can kind of read through that and stuff. This is coming out on October 23rd. This is going to be one I think is going to be a game that a lot of people are probably going after, because the Metal Gear series is really fun. It's gotten better and better as it's gone. But this is the Master Collection, so it's going to have a lot of content added into it. I'm looking forward to that one. Another one called Vampire Survivors. This is an interesting one. The longer you survive, the more enemies that come. It's kind of like, if you see the trailer for it, it's kind of like original Gauntlet, the 4-player game back in the day. And the higher the levels you go, the harder the stages get, the more enemies that'll come out and attack. This is a 4-player co-op. I would definitely get this game, and it's just got a fun look to it. It's got a fun. The title of Vampire Survivors may sound kind of like, I don't know if I'd want my kids to play this, but look up the trailer for it. It looks like it's a lot of fun. It's a pretty simple looking game. It's got a Gauntlet type feel, and I think this one I'd like to get and play with my wife and our older kids or what have you. Just have a lot of fun. It looks like it's just a lot of just fun, interesting game as you move forward through stages, and the game just gets tougher and tougher. Another one. This was one too that I was like, this could be fun. This is silly. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. This is coming out later this year. You're a pigeon. That's all you need to know. You're a pigeon. That could be fun. Watch the trailer. Go look it up. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. It looks fun. I think I'll get it just because I've got Untitled Goose Game. That was a great game. I beat that one. I like that one a lot. You're a goose in that game. This one, you're a pigeon. I think I might get this one as well. Penny's Big Breakaway is a 3D platformer coming out early next year. I wasn't 100% sold on that one. I like the title and all, but to me it wasn't a game I'm going to go after. Mario Kart will have another DLC that comes out later this summer, early this summer. We're already in summer, so be looking out for that Mario Kart DLC. I think it's already out. I believe it's already been released. I could be wrong, but you'll be able to get other characters like Petey the Petey Piranha, and the Wiggler, which was the worm, I think in Mario 2, I believe. And I can't remember the wizard's name, but he's with Koopa. Kamak. I can't remember his name, but he was the wizard. Those are some DLC characters you can play for Mario Kart on the Switch. November, Ocean Star's coming. This is another one I'm 100% into. But WarioWare Move It is coming out in November. This is a really fun game because it's not just a game, but from the trailer on it, you can move around and do all kinds of fun things. I'd probably buy that one myself because it's gonna get you exercising in a way while you're playing. So, some new amiibos coming out for the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom game. So a lot of the amiibos are coming out for that. They'll be available around Christmas, so I guarantee those will sell fast. The big one that is coming out, this is the one that I'm really excited for. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch the trailer for this. Is the Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's coming out in October, so it's coming soon. October 20th, 2023. The best part about it was, as the end of the trailer, Mario turns into an elephant. And looks just like Mario, but he's an elephant. You gotta go look up Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch game. You'll see the trailer, you'll see what I'm talking about. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm gonna find that plush when it comes out. Apparently when you touch a Wonder Flower, that's what it is, you don't know what will happen. So you could transform, or stage changes, a lot of things happen. But also in this game, Daisy is going to be a playable character for the Wonder game. I wonder how good that game will be. Other than that, guys, I just wanted to make sure I talked really quick because I was really excited for the Nintendo Direct for the Switch. That is really the only modern console I really play. I'm not big into any of the other consoles, but the Switch is a lot of fun. I've always been a Nintendo fan. I like the fact that Nintendo is very family friendly. It's a lot of fun, a lot of quirky games, a lot of fun stuff. But I've always been a Nintendo person, so there you go. So I want to make sure we just talked about really quick the Nintendo Direct stuff to look forward to. Let me know in the comments what you're excited for. There's other stuff I'm pretty sure coming out, but I think Nintendo likes to hit really on the ones that they are excited for. So, till next time, thanks for listening or watching or both. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. The podcast, the Funhouse Podcast, unedited versions.